Hello everyone, this is Carol. Glad you tuned in as we move to part 2 of the new part of our series entitled Pathways to Self-Awareness. But first, a little recap. Back on April 1st, I began a series called Journey to Self-Awareness and Soul Purpose. There are 14 videos in all, where we began our journey by calculating our life and soul purpose numbers and their correspondence to the major arcana tarot cards as its archetype. Other videos followed explaining on the qualities and attributes, which included the shadow aspects of all 22 arcanas. Then we had videos that talked about the importance of meditation and proper breath work. There was a couple videos on finding your astrological corresponding tarot cards and its influences. A very important video explained the difference between personality and individualization and how the ego dances with those two parts of our psyches all day long. And lastly, we looked at Carl Jung's anima and animus psychology and how it relates to the duality and unity displayed in the Fool's Journey. So since I found that I had concluded all that I wished to cover in the workings of the tarot and astrology for self-discovery, at that juncture I decided to name the psychological aspects of the work we're going forward with this new title. And last week I introduced it and began the first part of addressing the barriers to change. I will put a link down below to that particular video. It was done last week, and it's important to look at and to be aware of these barriers on your path before you clear them out. So I do suggest that if you didn't view that video, you do as you follow along with this part 2. It is important to look at and to be aware of these barriers that are on our path. That's the only way we know how to clear them out. And as we examine our past and our patterns, it's also important not to judge or justify them. That will only add guilt, which eventually leads to a very limiting belief known as shame. So in order to bypass that, I constructed this affirmation that I think you should write in your workbooks. Not for the purpose of blame, but for the purpose of change. This stops us from justifying or feeling guilty about looking at those barriers, why we have them. I think, folks, it's also important to tell you that what I'm about to present to you was a weekend workshop. So there seems to be a lot of talking, and I am not face-to-face with you because a lot of this work is all written down in a form that has to be explained kind of systematically. So I do want to apologize for not looking at you as I explain some of this work. So what I also wanted to do in this short video, this is not going to be a long one, is I found that when I was doing these workshops, a little humor goes a long way. So part of it I have written down in a kind of a tongue-in-cheek way. The information is very valid, but it also is very specific on what happens when someone undergoes a journey of self-discovery and why many of us get off the path, because it's not always pleasant. So read along with me as I have this caution. The path you are about to travel will be uncomfortable and at times downright painful as you enter the territory of illusion. Move ahead with persistence, gradually allowing your vision to adapt to the truth you could not see from where you stood. This section of your path is called progress. Like a maze, you may be distracted and have to retrace your steps. A new path will eventually unfold as you release the fears of traveling alone in unfamiliar territory. You will begin to trust yourself. If you lose your way, look at past road signs which have guided you this far. Or stop all activity and ask for direction, guidance which is always available to you. You cannot control the climatic conditions as you travel this path, nor be protected from the winds and rain that may be up ahead. This, a reminder that you never truly control the events in your life. They were only detours you created and to the best of your ability attempted to control. With this newfound awareness, which brings you clearer insights, you will then view oncoming conditions differently. Know that you always have choices on how to respond to situations and conditions you encounter on this path called life. Each barrier you overcome gives you clearer perspective and increases self-confidence. Supplies you need as you make your way onward to the next pothole you encounter. Be aware of your thoughts, feelings, before you make a decision to move away from this distraction. Be prepared to make new friends and leave some behind. You must allow them and they you to continue on the path each has chosen. Know that as you change and make new choices, everything around you changes with it. Often, you may question and doubt why you made such changes and ventured out so far from what you know as normal, where you felt safe and secure, something you worked so long and hard to create for yourself. Here is where you become aware of your ego's needs and fears. You're at a stop sign. What voice will you listen to and follow? Ahead is new territory. That voice is asking you to just believe. Just be willing to continue and trust in a higher self you are about to rediscover. The same part of you who can answer those very questions. Those answers are part of your journey. Your higher self has been with you all along, perfect and patiently waiting for you to find him on this path to wholeness. Make no mistake, you are at a crossroad now. What you do now rests in your hands. Do you choose to acknowledge this part of you? You've come this far. Ask yourself this: what do I have to lose? Thanks everyone for joining me. We'll be back with more. Love to have your comments and insights. Please feel free to email me. I will also give you my email address in the description box. Bye for now. Take care.